I got that Fanta in my system. Fanta in my system. I gotta take a shit every time I drink one of these. Hey, everybody. I've been thinking about that a lot. The Fanta in my system. I was thinking it last night when I was playing Donkey Kong Country. And all I could think about was Fanta in my system. Fanta in my system. And then someone misheard me and said phantom, like phantom tax. You're so skibbity. You're so phantom tax. But yeah, somebody misheard me and said phantom. Phantom in your system? Like, yeah. Phantom in my taxes. And I started singing, I got that phantom in my taxes. Phantom in my taxes. I gotta take a shit every time I do my taxes. That's the whole story. I keep thinking about it. Hi, my name is Akira Dolce, your local barista VTuber. Today is free chat day. I didn't really have anything I wanted to talk about in particular, but you know, we always go live. We always have tea. I have my coffee here with me today. It is just instant coffee with some milk and vanilla. Nothing special. Instant coffee is coffee. I used to be like, instant coffee is coffee. And then I grew to be like, you know what? It doesn't fucking matter. It tastes good. There's people that are like really, I don't know. There's people who don't really understand the taste of coffee, and honestly, I don't either. But I like the taste of it. There are people who are like, coffee is bitter. Why would people want to drink it? And there's something about it. It's kind of like, why do people like sweet things? Why do people like salty things? Why do people like spicy things? Spicy hurt. Why do people want to eat spicy? It hurt in the tongue. Because, I don't know, some people just really like it. Do people really like spicy food, or do people just really like, you know, pretending to like spicy? And that's the thing, is like, people are just pretending to like coffee, and it's like, that's not true. That's totally not true. I find it really weird how people can like LaCroix, though. LaCroix's kind of weird. Or, you know what is really weird, in my opinion? Carbonated water. Just carbonated water. No flavoring or whatever, just carbonated water. Because, like, you can kind of, like, taste the carbon. Like, you know, when you carbonate something, you can kind of, like, taste carbon. It's got a carbony taste to it. So when people just drink unflavored carbonated water, I'm like, carbonated love. That's a song I've been like really into. There's a song by Iris from Hololive. There's a song called Carbonated Love. It's very Initial D, Eurobeat. I think the word is Eurobeat, but it reminds me of like, you know, Initial D, because your Initial D had a lot of Eurobeat in it. Deja vu, ba da ba da ba ba ba. Yeah, but Carbonated Love is very like that. I really want to get into music production that's sort of like that. I've been learning piano again, and I realized how badly I am, or how bad I am at chord switching. Like, I can play chords fine, but like the moment I have to like switch chords and stuff, I'm like, oh Jesus, I can't play piano at all. I got that Fanta in my system. You guys see this? You guys hear this? I guess I can't stop thinking about Fanta in my system. This is the curse of having a stupid ass brain that won't focus. It hyper focuses on the weirdest things, and I guess today the hyper focus is Fanta in my system. Also, my nails have been bothering the hell out of me recently. They are like long enough to like bother you, but they're also not long enough to like warrant to cut them, you know? You know what, I'm just gonna wait, hold on a second. What if, hold on, we're gonna do quick ASMR, okay? We're gonna do quick ASMR. I'm gonna switch my mic to whatever mode, sorry. Okay, does that, yeah, okay, there we go. I'm gonna turn off my music for a second. Okay, hold on a second. We're gonna turn this up just a little bit. Just a little bit. so I can be in your left ear, or your right ear. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm gonna lift my pop filter just a little bit. Lift my pop filter just a little bit up in your right ear, just down there, and over to your left. All right, we're gonna do some ASMR. ASMR. Nail. Oop. Okay, hold on a second. I gotta be in ASMR mode. All right. Welcome to ASMR nail clipping. My nails are long enough that it bothers me. And it's not long enough to like warrant a cut, but I'm going to cut them anyways. You want that Fana in your system. Fana in your system. I'm gonna clip my nails in front of you. I got that Fana in my system. Fana in my system. I gotta take a shit every time I drink one of these. Got that Fana in my system. Fana in my system. I'm sorry. Does that do anything for you? I got that Fana in my system. Fana in my system. I'm gonna drink my coffee now. Hold on, wait. I can slurp. Hold on. Ready? I'm gonna slurp. Oh man, I should do it like a YouTube ASMR stream. Tea time replaced with ASMR. Ooh. Okay, there we go. Don't cut too close to the nail bed now. Cutting too close to the nail can hurt. I got that Fana in my system. Fana in my system. I got that Fana in my system. Got that Fana in my system. Man, this should be a VOD. I should like... I should put this on YouTube. I think people would like it. Fana in my system. Your ADHD boyfriend clips his nails while quoting a TikTok he found on the internet. Phantom in my system. Phantom in my system. I gotta take a shit every time I drink one of these. I got that Fana in my system. Fana in my system. I block my face every time I do this. Oh wait, hold on a second. I have a thing here. Hold on. Oh, I don't have it anymore. Oh wait, no, here it is. Found it. Okay. I have a neck mount. Neck mount. For my face tracking. I'm sorry. Okay. Now hopefully my face tracking will be... It's still a little weird, you see that? Oh well. Got that Fana in my system. Fana in my system. Got that Fana in my system. I gotta take a shit every time I do one of these. I got that Fana in my system. Oh! Sorry. I must drop my nail clippings everywhere. Hold on a second. Here's a little garbage bag. Okay, I'm gonna try to dump the nail clippings into the garbage bag, okay? Oh god, okay. All right. Can you hear this? No, you can't. It sounded pretty cool, though. You're just gonna have to trust me on it. Got that Fanta in my system. Fanta in my system. Ooh. I got that Fanta in my system. Got that Fanta in my system. I gotta take a shit. Got that Fanta in my system. I need to find another video to quote. Oh, do you hear that? There's a car outside. Got that Fanta in my system. Fanta in my system. Cool. Okay, hold on. See if I can get this louder again. I'm gonna turn off some filters. Turn off the noise gate. Okay, the noise gate is off. Oh, sorry. Oh, the garbage is falling out. Okay, hold on. We're gonna try it. We're gonna try the nail clippings into the garbage can again. Get ready? Got that Fanta in my system. Fanta in my system. We're gonna take a shit now. Okay. Alright, now wasn't that exciting? I have nice trimmed nails. I could file them now. That was just such a weird experience. I like doing ASMR stuff, but except I just don't have the Wait, where's my thing? I don't have the the planning to do ASMR. I really don't. I do like it though. I like brain audio things that make you feel good in your brain. I'm slurping. I was like really into ASMR like when I had like, I don't know, I was just like feeling a little something. I feel like a lack of human connection. There's a lack of human connection, and when you like do ASMR where people like kind of like whisper in your ear, like, you know, or get like really close into your ear, there's a little bit of like an intimacy. Oh, sorry. And my mic is dying. There's a little bit of an intimacy that comes with it, and that's something that I was missing. Oh, Jesus. Hello, I'm in your right ear again. Can we fix that? There we go. And not saying that I'm a lonely fucker. Actually, I am a lonely fucker. But when you don't have, a support system built into a new country, into a new area, it's rough. Especially when a lot of your support system is online and you're in different time zones. That really sucks. Because it's one thing to be in like a new place, but like just in the same time zone. Because you can always have you can always talk to the people online. But when you're in a new country, when you're in a new time zone, like a complete different time zone, like 8 hours apart from each other, your support kind of goes out the window, and I don't recommend. If you're an introvert, you suddenly realize how introverted you are and how much you actually need social interactions and stuff like that. Because I myself am very, very introverted. I don't like going out. I don't like meeting new people. I don't like being social. I like keeping to my own things. But there's a certain point where like you need to talk to somebody. Like you need some sort of human interaction. You need some sort of human enrichment. And it can come in different forms. It can come in friends. It can come in the form of family. It can come in the form of playing MMOs with random people online. But you just need, you need interact. You need human interaction. You need to, feel like you're alive. You need to feel like you matter to somebody. And I think that was one of the hard things when I moved to Japan, was that I lost all of that. My family was nearby. I could go see them like a 4-hour drive, which is like, not an easy drive to make, but like, that was like a couple cities over. I drive 4 hours. If I feel lonely or if I feel like I'm being overwhelmed, I can stop by my parents' place and just like, relax there for a couple days. And then like my friends, they were all online, but like even with the ones with the screwed up sleep schedules, I couldn't really keep up with them because I would be at work. So here's the thing. When you are friends with people, right? They have work, right? They have sleep schedules. You're basically only available for at least at the very like most or the very least, I guess, the very most maybe. I don't know. But you're available only for like 8 hours a day. Let's say like you work at a 9 to 5, right? You go to bed, 8 hours at work, 8 hours sleeping. Ideally, like I don't know how the recommended sleep. It's probably like 6 to 9 hours, but whatever. But you're only available really for 8 hours of the day. And when you are at work, right? Everybody is awake and doing things. And it is like, wow, I could be doing things with people, but I am at work. And then you get off of work and then everybody's sleeping. And then you're like, okay, well, everybody's sleeping. I guess I'll just do my own thing until someone wakes up. And then you wait around for someone to wake up and then you realize it's time to go to bed. And you only have maybe about an hour or two, maybe like maybe 3 if you decide to stay up a little bit later, but you only have anywhere between 1 and 3 hours to interact with people, as opposed to your like usual 5 to 8 or whatever, because you're on the same schedules usually, right? Sometimes people get off work a lot later, get off work a lot earlier, so you have a little bit of this discrepancy. So I say like maybe 5 hours 5 hours like minimum that you can interact when you're in the same time zone, unless like someone works night shift, then that's a little bit different. But then, like, it's not there anymore. It's gone. You have no interactions with your previous life anymore, or very little. You need to make time for it, and that's the hard thing. Is that things will like dissipate when you move to a country 8 hours away. Because that 8 hours is so significant. And so either you have to, if you're an introvert who needs social interaction, who needs a little bit of a, going outedism, you're faced with a conundrum where either you go out and make friends you go out of your comfort zone and, you know, get that interaction that you need, or you be a stubborn little asshole and you just kind of be pathetic until you can find somebody in your old circle that can make time for you. And that's really, really tough because people have their own lives. People have, you know, things that they need to do. So it's like, you know, it's rough. It's rough. And the more I realize, the more I read up on it, there's a thing called hikikomori. Everybody kind of knows what a hikikomori is nowadays, but like, if you guys don't know what a hikikomori is, it's somebody who stays like indoors all the time, who never really leaves their place. I wouldn't say like they never leave their place, but they don't really. So if they have an option to stay in, they will stay in no matter what. But they will leave. You know, hikikomoris will leave their apartments, their houses. They just, you know, need a really, really good reason to. Like, for example, if they're hungry and their fridge is empty, they'll go out to the convenience store and buy something at like 2 a.m. But other than that, you know, hikikomoris they're pathetic. They are pathetic, but they're not as pathetic as people think they are. They're just socially inept, and I think like I'm one of them. But I do need social interaction. I guess that's where streaming really comes in handy. Is that like when I stream, people can come in, come out, and come see me willingly. And that's the hard thing, is that it's people come in willingly. With streaming, it's people you have to like that find you interesting. You can't go out and talk to people. People have to come to you. And as an introvert, I like that. I love when people come to me because I don't have to initiate conversation. I know how to, I just don't like to. I started to go out more and like be a little bit more social. I joined a couple Discords related to VTubing. I met a couple people. I'm not sure if I'm like really friends with them, but I've met them. But I've noticed a lot of friendships tend to bloom from trauma or like stress. People who have shared stresses or shared trauma, you know, they tend to flock together pretty well because they have like something in common that they can relate to, that they can, you know, they can put their trust in somebody for something like that. Whereas opposed to like when you play an online game, like you can make friends on online games, of course, but like when your only thing is like playing that game together, that's kind of like your tying thing. And you really have to really bank on that to start conversations. You can't just be like, oh, let's play, and then just play, and then it's whatever. Because like that sure is a friendship, but like you'll never really talk about anything meaningful or whatever. You'll just have the game, and as soon as the game is over, as soon as the game is done, as soon as the game is discontinued, as soon as a better game comes out, you're probably not going to talk to those people ever again. And that's really sad to think about. People come and go. They really do. But it's the ones that, you know, message you every now and not, they don't have to message you every day, but the ones who like see something and they're like, hey, I'm thinking about you. Or like, hey, I saw this one thing. Are you interested in this? Like I have a friend who I just send Yu-Gi-Oh stuff to every time I see them. I see a little funny Yu-Gi-Oh thing, I send them a little Yu-Gi-Oh thing. When somebody has a waifu and I see like, oh my god, that's so-and-so's waifu, I'll send it to them. You know, that's the sort of thing that like kind of has like a stronger, it's a small thing, but it has a lot of meaning carrying on to it. I think one of the hardest things about making friends online, at least in my age, the ripe age of 37, making friends when you're older is a lot harder because you don't have the same amount of energy as you did before. I feel like when I was in college, I had the energy to go out and be annoying and be obnoxious, and like sometimes that's all you need to make friends, is just to be obnoxious and annoying enough to, like, you know, not that you're like actually piss people off, but you're like get people's attention, be like, hey, they're doing something funny, or like, oh, they're doing something cool. Making friends is always hard. And I think I need to do that more. Hard. Really hard. I don't know if I can do it. But, you know, we try. That's the one thing I really also liked with being a barista. When you're a barista, when you work in food service, when you work in a service that's like consistent, where you get consistent loyal customers, they're like, oh, I like this coffee shop, I'm going to go to it every single day. You see the same people, and then, you know, you start memorizing their orders, you know, you start memorizing what they like, and then you're like, they walk through the door and you just know their order because they order it every single day. And that's a small connection that, you know, it kind of means a lot to the person ordering, because they feel seen. I know if I like walked into a place and like the barista's like, oh my god, hey, it's you. Do you want your usual? It's like, yeah, you feel seen. You feel important to at least to somebody, you know? Not like you like saved anybody's life or anything, but you've made an impression, and that feels good to know that you've done something. Even if it's just walking to the same store every day. But that's how a lot of school friends even start too, you know? You go to the same classroom every single day. Like in elementary school, right? Most places don't have like most kids don't like interact outside of their classroom a whole lot. Maybe they do. But like when I was in elementary school, I never ventured outside of my classroom. My friends were always there, but like when I see somebody in my classroom that was doing something that I found interesting, I went up to them, you know? And they was like, oh my god, you like Pokemon? Oh my god, you're playing with Pokemon. Or somebody will come up to me, oh my god, you got Pokemon cards. And then when it gets to like high school, right? It's still sort of like that. You have the same people. You go to the same classes pretty much every day, or the same cycle, right? You see them every so often, right? And you just like, you know, you notice things about them. They talk about something. They're a little weird. They're a little quirky. They're a little strange. And all of a sudden, you are friends with them, and that's really cool. I know there are times when like you end up being friends with people you don't really want to be friends with though, and I think that's really like kind of the annoying part about it, because like there's a kid in my cooking class. A bunch of kids took cooking because, you know, they're like, oh, it's a cooking class, it's gonna be easy, you just fry an egg or whatever, and there's more to it. There's more to it than just frying an egg in cooking class. There's like a science behind cooking, but a lot of people took the cooking class because it was easy. And those types of people I didn't really like, because they were sort of like obnoxious and like, oh, they're like so laid back, and they just didn't care. And that's just something I didn't really vibe with. But I ended up becoming friends with them anyways, because I was just in the same vicinity as them, and like, you know, they would talk to me and like I would talk back to them, and then we just kind of get to know each other, and like, hey, did you see the thing? I was like, yeah, I did. But then like they'd be still very fucking annoying and I wouldn't like it. It's like that kind of thing. Yeah, you can't be beggars can't be choosers, I guess is what they say, right? Beggars can't be choosers. In general, it's kind of hard to surround yourself with people that are like-minded as you. The world is a really big place. It's huge. And to surround yourself with like-minded people, it's like luck, man. It's luck. You gotta get lucky. I just feel like I'm kind of lucky myself to find that fact that I have friends that are willing to like who I guess as they say, match your freak. Friends that match your freak. Because I walk into a call, right? I walk into a Discord call, and I can just say the most absurd thing and be like, oh yeah. That's Akira. Haha. It's a good feeling. But you can't, you can't be that weird with everybody. you can be like weird, but like when it comes to first impressions, you can't be too weird or else you'll scare people off. I mean, when I joined one of the VTuber groups, there was somebody who was so over the top and so crazy that I feel like I couldn't get a word in. Or if I did get a word in, they felt overpowering and I couldn't really talk to them. I could only talk to them, you know? You can't really talk with somebody. You can just talk to somebody, and I guess that's a hard situation. Oh, sorry, I got weird arm spasm. That's weird. Too much coffee. Too much coffee. There are... how many people in this world? 8 billion now? 8 billion people in the world. But the sad thing is also, even if there's 8 billion people in the world, you can't connect with all of them no matter how hard you try. Because there are people who just have that language barrier. You can't really connect very well with somebody who you can't really talk to. Of course, you can do things like do things together. And that's why I really like doing things with people, is because it doesn't really matter what language you speak. As long as you do things together, as long as you have a common goal that you're, you know, doing things together with, you are able to connect through, you know, a common goal. A common goal, you know, even if it's just like playing dodgeball with somebody, right? Your objective is just to win. You know, it's fun. And, you know, if you see someone struggling, you can help them out. That's a form of connection. I think I maybe want to talk about this, like, in a future stream. Like, making friends. It's a really good conversation topic, I think. When I was in high school, I was just thinking about how many people I became friends with, because I became friends with a lot of people. And the funny thing is that now looking back, now looking at myself now, I don't talk to any of them. I don't talk to anybody from high school, like, at all. I was so much of an outcast that I never felt like I really belonged anywhere. And I feel too introverted to really even keep those things up. There's one person, only one person, who I feel like I have a genuine connection with, but I haven't messaged them in 4 years. And it's just strange. It's strange. Because I wasn't the nicest person in high school. I wasn't very nice to them. But like, as I'm an adult now, we can kind of laugh at the fact that I was kind of a shitty person. And the fact that they're like, oh yeah, honestly, you were a kid. We were kids. In high school, you're still kids. I kind of feel lucky to have that forgiveness, man. That's why I always believe in a second chances. If someone is like really actually willing to change, I always give them that benefit of the doubt. But, you know, repeated behavior is a thing. And if, you know, if people just say sorry for the, you know, for the apology so they can go back to doing their bullshit, that's not really an apology, huh? But no, there are people. Well, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry too. I'm really sorry too, as Canadians say. Being human is tough. It's tough. There's no rule to being human. But I always find it to be, you know, if you can put positivity out in the world, and honestly, this is a lot of the reasons why I became a VTuber or a streamer in general, is that there were a lot of negative people out there. There are a lot of insidious people out there. And the YouTubers that I grew up with, a lot of them turned out to be very bad people. And I was like, I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that kind of person. I don't want people to have that kind of people in their lives, to have, to have someone who is like idolized, but to be a bad person, who does nefarious things. I love that word, nefarious. Nefarious has been like one of my keywords that I like using because it sounds so cool. But when people when you find out YouTubers end up being as drug addicts, or like or as groomers, sexual harassers and stuff like that, I don't want people to. Well, one, I don't want people to in that situation to thrive, because they have power and they're abusing it. This is like so strange. Like, this is fucked up. This is extremely fucked up. But there was I had a friend. She was 15 at the time, and we were at an anime convention. I was like 19. And she was a very young person. She was very like, happy-go-lucky, very, very energetic, very over the top. I don't know why I was hanging out with a 15-year-old when I was 19, but like, we were just at an anime convention. We liked similar things. It wasn't anything weird. We were just friends. But she comes up to a group of us and she just screams, "Oh my God, I just made out with a YouTuber." And that YouTuber was 30. Like, what the fuck? Isn't that insane? And then, the 15-year-old was like, "Oh my God, I just made out with a famous YouTuber." That was crazy. But then I was like, he's fucking 30. He's 30 years old. That's so wrong. I don't think anybody like really said anything about it. Not that I remember or anything. I think most people were just like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." No one really was really like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you did that." Everyone was like, "Yeah, that's cool." But man, that whole situation was so freaking wild. And now they were outed. They were outed a long time ago. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Bada bing, bada boom. You're wanted. Strange, even. Estranged. So here we are. In the year of 2024. I feel like a lot of people have smartened up nowadays when it comes to like being online. But I feel like it's also regressing now, because there's a lot of people who do not understand the severity of online protection or online, anonymity. Because people be doxing their names, their addresses again. It's crazy. And I talked about this before. I'm not sure when I talked about this, but they were like, I think that was actually last tea time. But in last tea time, I talked about how there were people. There was a police squad showed up to a bunch of the schools, and they were like, "We're doing a PSA about online safety. Here's how predators can get to your children, how they can get to your students. Please be aware. Please educate your students on online safety." And there were several kids in my school that were part of that like experiment. The police showed up and they're like, here's this student, this student, this student, this student. Here's all the information we found on them. Here's where they live. Here's where their parents work. Here's where they go to school. Here's what classes they have. Here's what they're into. Here's their after school activities. And they had this full on like basically like itinerary of their day-to-day life. And no one fucking has that. No one really fucking has that. No one really thinks about it. They just go on about their daily life. Someone's like, oh yeah, I just have piano practice on Thursdays. That's not an itinerary. That's something you just go and do because you have it, you paid for it, you know? Yeah, it's so, if you have an online stalk, man, online stalkers are freaking weird. Parasocialism. Listen, I want people to be parasocial with me, but like to a certain extent. I want people to be like, wow, what a hot ass motherfucker. But that's pretty much about it. I want people to sexualize me, but that's it. But don't be sexual with me, you know? Draw me naked in an apron. You know, nothing else. Call me hot. Call me sexy. Say my singing voice is amazing. Say I'm beautiful. But don't touch me, motherfucker. Saturday morning tea time. I got some. Oh, what the fuck? I got some messages, some DMs. I didn't even realize it. Oh. I think I've exhausted all the things I wanted to talk about with that topic. That was such long-winded. How did it even freaking start? Making friends. It started about making friends. We talked about YouTubers being weird. Yeah. My hobby is staring out into space. I just caught myself doing it. Maybe I'm just tired. Maybe I'm just tired. Maybe I'm just exhausted. I don't really know. But sometimes I just like not, you know, it's sort of like astral projecting, but like not really. Oh, this is like a weird skill that I have. I'm not sure if it's a skill or not. But like I can like, okay, you know how like AI generation is fucking weird, right? But like if I close my eyes, sorry, if I not close my eyes, if I keep my eyes open and stare at something, I can basically AI generate things in my brain for that thing. Like for example, like I can just like imagine my computer turning to chocolate and melting like chocolate. If I just zone out hard enough, I can vividly imagine that. But as soon as I start realizing I'm imagining it, it goes away. And it's so weird. I don't know why the frick it does that. But that's something I can do. Also, this is unrelated because I just saw my Switch standing right in front of me. I really, really want to play Golden Sun. I don't know what it is. I saw my Switch and I remember there's Golden Sun on the GBA online. I'm like, man, I really want to play Golden Sun. I think I'm gonna do that after Crisis Core. I said I was gonna do like maybe Dirge of Cerberus, but I don't know how long Dirge of Cerberus is. I don't even know if I can play it. I should probably see if I can play it first before anything. But I'm super into Final Fantasy recently, and I just want to learn about the Final Fantasy VII world. It's so strange to me because I'm not part of a group, but like there is a upstart company that is trying to really sell a world. They're trying to sell this world building thing. And I am just so not into it for some reason. Like I'm just so not interested in hearing what they have to say about their world. And I guess it's because it's not implemented in such a way that's digestible. I don't have any interest in it. Because like when you read a book or when you play a game or you watch a movie, right? Things are kind of presented to you in such a way that are digestible, or you can kind of understand everything. Not everything, but like you kind of understand the universe through interactions. And when I just see a synopsis of what's happening, or the synopsis of like of a country or a character or a religion in their universe, or how their magic works or whatever. Like, that explains everything, but like it doesn't make it digestible. Something like, let's say in a world where we're in a world where there's magic, right? But magic comes in the form of crystals, right? And to use magic, you need to have a certain type of crystal for a certain type of magic. Let's say if you wanted to use fire spells, you needed a fire crystal. If you wanted to use ice spells, you needed an ice crystal. If you wanted to use time magic, you needed a time crystal. If you wanted to move things, you needed a levitation crystal, things like that, right? It's one thing to be like, to explain things like, in the world, magic is real, and they come in the form of crystals, and crystals come from this place, and they are enchanted with this and that, right? But like, we don't really need to know a lot of that first. The first thing that we really need to know is, one, how is it used, and two, how do people use it, like how it's used and like when it's used, basically. So what I basically just explained was materia. Materia is magic. You don't really need to know anything about materia until the world building starts. Because I don't really care. I don't really care about materia. All I know is that materia gives me magic. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I want that magic thing. I understand. But like, the more you like kind of start to realize like where it comes from, because materia comes from the planet. It comes in little crystals. It comes up from the earth, and condensed Mako energy creates materia, and materia can be recycled and broken apart and split apart, and there's several things that materia can do. But we don't really care about that until it's relevant. Because materia comes from the planet, it comes from the ancients, it comes from the wisdom of others. That's why we can use magic. But ultimately, we just care that it creates magic. At least to begin with, right? And then the more you start to delve into the lore of materia, the lore of magic, how things are used, then that's where it gets interesting, because then you can start to kind of build environments around that. You get the mithril mines. Not the mithril mines, what are those called? The Mako reactors, where like it's built over top of Mako spouts, fountains, where like there's an abundance of Mako, right? And they use materia as weapons, things like that. That's where it gets interesting. But nobody is so deeply invested in how the magic works until the magic is being used. Because honestly, I didn't really care about materia until they said, we're mass producing materia for weapons. And you're like, wait, what do you mean by that? And then like they start explaining like these different types of materia. Or like they're like the reactors don't only produce electricity, they produce materia. And you're like, wait, what? And then you're like, then they do it, and it's like, whoa. So the thing that I'm following right now, I'm loosely following it. How they present their ideas is so it's very hype based for people who want to be into it. And then they kind of like, they're hooking those kind of people. And maybe there's a market for that. I'm just not, maybe just part of that market, but I'm totally not into it. I want things to be, if this was a D&D campaign, I don't want the lore entirely as, I'm starting out. I don't want to know the history of whatever kingdom. I want to see that parts of the kingdom are in ruin. and, you know, build my own theories. And then like see if I'm right, you know? Or like watch how certain people in this kingdom, you know, interact with the world. How they are with people, how they are with animals, how they are with the economy. Are they stingy? Is there a bunch of thieves around, you know, that sort of thing? It's the people. It's the world. It has to be presented in a digestible way. Like you walk into town and you see things are in ruins, right? You're like, why are things in ruins? Like, oh geez, I kind of understand the gravity of the situation, sort of thing. But it's not. It's not like, yeah. I don't know. I'm existing. I'm a guy. Banana. All right. When it hits about 1 o'clock, I think that's where I'm gonna call it tonight. I do have a collab tomorrow morning for me. This evening for a lot of other people. So I gotta get ready for that. I gotta be awake and aware. That's kind of the issue with that. I think it's happening 7 hours from now that I think about it. Hold on. I need to go check my schedule real quick. When is this happening? Events. It is... The pre-production is 7 hours from now, but the thing is 8 hours from now. Or like the, you know, the pre-thing, whatever. Sneaky, nicky, 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 sneaking like I'm steak. Gotta keep it solid. Oh, I gotta shit every time I do my taxes. I drank too much coffee. Ooh. Got that phantom in my taxes. Sorry, we're going back to the phantom taxes again. We got that phantom in our taxes. I gotta take a shit every time I do my taxes. That's the thing that's happening. All right. We're actually gonna call it here. I'm gonna actually use the bathroom. That's why I'm ending right now. But we're gonna go. We're gonna leave. We are going to exist. But I hope you had a great time. Listen to me yapping and crap. And I should be man. I should just call this like yap hour. I gotta be in with the kids, man. I gotta start using the lingo. The Gen Alpha lingo, because the kids won't watch me. But you know how it is. All right. I don't know what time it is for you guys. I just hope it's a good time. I'm gonna take a shit.